What's up, guys? I'm here for two purposes in this video. One, real quickly going to mention the launch of my website. I'm totally excited about this because not only do I now have merch that you guys can purchase if you so choose to, there's also a donation function if you want to support the brand. That's great as well. And also the start of my apparel line. I think the title or the apparel line is called Mystic Vibes Apparel. I'm extremely excited to be able to do this. I love to graphic design a lot of different things, and now I can actually take and do something with those designs other than just keeping them on my computer. I could share them with the world in t-shirt, sweatshirt, hoodie form, whatever I want to do with them. So I'll post the URL somewhere up here because I do not currently have it on my in my bio because, yeah. Anyway, you can get all the information, learn about me, all those types of things right on the website. It's one website for everything. I'm excited. So anyway, the second reason for this video is I recently had a conversation with one of my friends, and it was about homeschooling and why I pulled my kid out of school to homeschool them. First things first, and I'm just going to briefly gloss over this. I have had issues with the school district that she was in, and that was a big part of the reason. The second reason is there were some things that I felt my kid needed to learn at her age that the school was not equipped to do, or it was just they didn't have time to. So I pulled her out in order for those things to become part of the curriculum. And one of those is religious studies. And now I'm not a religious nut job, I promise you, but I am an ordained minister, and I feel like getting to know religions is kind of an essential thing, especially when kids grow up. They find their own way. But I don't want to teach my kid specifically just about my religion. I mean, I'm pagan, I'm a witch. Okay, yeah, we're going to cover that, but I'm not going to be making an entire religious study section on everything witchcraft and paganism. In fact, how I plan on tackling this, which is something that she was concerned, and I'll tell you exactly how I told her. I am going to teach my kid about all religions, so that way, when she becomes 18 and she goes and finds her own path, she's armed with information. You know, I hate ignorance. If people can't do their own research before they make comments and claims, then I usually don't respond to that person just because I cannot deal with ignorance by choice. Okay. And secondly, I want to teach her to have respect for people of all religious affiliations, not just the one that she chooses when she gets older. So those are the two, that's the exact way that I've explained it to her. And I think her biggest concern was that I was going to be a big religious nut about it and just kind of teach my kid all about witchcraft and paganism and things like that. And that was going to be it. And that's not the case. I have no issues with any other religion out there. Paganism and witchcraft work for me. They may not work for my daughter going forward. And I respect whatever she chooses. But as of right now, she's under my roof. She's around what I do. She does ask questions. She's very curious about it. So I think that it's a good place to start and then work our way into other religions of the world. So it's going to be a process, but it is something, that I feel would benefit her long term. Some other things, topics and things that we did talk about within that whole conversation was what else did I feel like I needed to teach my kid that the school either wouldn't have had time or just didn't deem as necessary. Well, first off, life skills are extremely important. Like my kid, it was on the syllabus for my kid in kindergarten, but they never did. They were supposed to teach him how to read an analog clock. It was on the syllabus, but it never got taught. I don't know if they ran out of time or if she just cut it and didn't say anything to anybody or anything like that. But my kid never knew how to read an analog clock. And when we go to my mom's house, things like that, my mom has analog clocks, and my kid's always asking questions. So between my mom and I, what we did in her first life skills class is we taught her how to read one. So I'm trying to teach her life skills, things that she'll need to know, or things that will be good to know, at least in theory, when she gets older. Okay. Also, other things are things she's interested in, like she wants to learn computer skills at her age. That's all fine and everything, but the school just doesn't. They don't teach computer skills until you get into, I believe it's around middle school to high school around here. And my kid wants to learn those now because she sees me on the computer. She sees me do all these things with computers, and she wants to learn those. So that is something we are doing. We have a whole computer class, and we started with the bare bones basics. She's learning at 9 years old to type on a computer, on a keyboard. And she's absolutely loving the typing game that I'm using to teach her these things. For her, it's more fun than it is actually a lesson, but she's learning. And she looks forward to those classes every day that we have them. We only have the keyboarding class twice a week. Just like we have every class twice a week because of the way I've set the schedule for her homeschooling. She has language arts on Monday, language arts, reading, math, and keyboarding on Mondays and Thursdays. Sorry, Monday and Wednesday. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, she has science, social studies, and life skills class. Now, with the addition, which we will be starting the religious studies after the holidays, that will be added into Tuesdays and Thursdays for her as well. So she'll end up having 4 classes every single day. A good portion of them, what's considered core classes in my state that I have to teach her. And then she'll have like 3 or 4 non-core classes that are things that she's interested in or things that I feel like we need to start now for one reason or another. I have a very solid curriculum with the way that I'm doing things. I mean, come on, for science class, my kid's already learning anatomy and physiology. Okay, don't ask me why we started there. That is something that she has asked for by name. She has always been extremely interested in the human body, and I don't feel a problem with her learning that because she's just going to have more respect for her own body and other people's bodies going forward. Okay, now we're not talking like she's going to learn sex ed or anything like that. She's learning the anatomy and physiology side of the human body. Now we'll have those other classes as she gets older and we need to have those classes, but she's not having those right now. So we're just doing like an introduction to the human body right now in science. And you know, I'm using it's a course on Khan Academy. But like I said, we're just doing the introductory side of it. We're not going to go full in-depth into the human body. She's still a little too young to understand everything. Let's be honest, the human body is complex. But anyway, that's beside the point. That's a little bit about our homeschool system. I'll talk more about it. If you guys have any questions, definitely put those in the comments, and I will try to respond as quickly as possible. If I don't get to responding to them, it's probably because I'm going to be answering them in a video at some point in the future, all right? Especially ones that get asked repeatedly. I'm very open and honest about things. I honestly don't know all the answers to everything. And with homeschooling, it's a lot of it's kind of like finding what works and going with it, at least how I've read, on Facebook groups and things like that I'm a part of for homeschooling. It's finding what works for you and going for it. Some people need a more structured curriculum, and there's those things out there. I like to put together all of her lessons, so I'm like extremely involved in the setup of each lesson and what we're going to do and things like that with that lesson. So, with that, again, if you have any questions or comments even, just leave them down below. I will read through them and respond as soon as possible. And until next time, guys, with love and wisdom, namaste.